Trade review. Let's talk about this pie trade right here and why we had it on our radar, why we bought it, our targets, our entries, everything. We'll get into it. All right. So this was a recent IPO. They're a chip maker. They do the technology behind Amazon's grocery store, where the checkout list grocery stores. So an article dropped this day, this huge, wide range, strong day that clearly indicates a change of trend. We see this huge volume and this huge up day, along with all-time highs within a stone's throw away. This automatically gets put on our radar, automatically. So now, when we see it come down and consolidate a bit, you can be sure that all that is that the people who are buying big on this day, they need more stock. So they're going to let it come down and consolidate for a little bit before it goes on another run, because they don't have full position. There's no way they could get all the stock they wanted on this one day. I mean, you got to figure these are big funds. They don't want to have all their stock from 35, so they're sitting there and they're just soaking it up. We can see these, even though they're not very wide range days, the volume is up on them because these funds are soaking it up. So once we saw this put in a pivot here, this was on our radar. So all of these days we were just looking at it. Then once this day happened, it held support again and then had a little up day. That's when we knew we wanted to buy this thing through 35. So let's look at a weekly chart. So what's it do? After this huge wide range bar, it comes in and gives us an inside week. So that inside week, we want to play off that inside week. We want to buy through the high of the inside week right here. And initially, we want our stop to be at the low of the inside week. Once it takes off and gives us some breathing room in the trade, we're going to put our stop at the low of the day that we got involved. So let's talk about how we did this specifically. So right off the open, this one was very strong. And Friday, we had a little sell-off day. This is Friday, this bar right here. And this thing was just holding up, being strong all day. So right away, on our radar, we knew that this was showcasing relative strength. So Monday, right off the open, it was gapping up, right for this 35 level. And we could just see the buying right away. So since it triggered right off the open at 9:30, and we bought it pretty much 9:40 or so, we just had our stop at the low of the day at that point, because where's the real support? Right here, there's 31.50, 32. We don't want to have to give this thing $3.50 if we're going to buy it at the top of the range. So if it fails, whatever, we'll take a 50-cent loss. So it's fine, and let it set up more if it needs to, and then we'll buy through 35 again. We don't want to have to sit in this thing for $3 down and just route with it. So we buy it off the open here, and I covered the trade. It was about 50 cents risk. Buying 35, low of the day is 34.31, so 70 cents risk. Took some off above 37, but held on to most for this day, and then this is what you get, and this is exactly what you want to see. Taking out all-time highs on a huge volume day, as the volume's just increasing. So now, and we were talking about getting involved here at this 35 level, so you didn't have to buy 38 because the risk was going to be too large. And there's no way you could buy this thing today at 38, because realistically, where do you give it to? You know, I mean, if you're giving it even the low of this day, it's not enough because the support's just not there. So overall, let's recap the trade. Is when we see this huge wide range day coming in right near highs, you got to put this thing on a watch list and watch it every single day and wait for it to set up, because you're not going to buy it through. If this just goes through 38 the next day, I'm not buying it. Most likely, a lot of people aren't buying it because it doesn't make sense. You'd have to give it $30. But when it gives us this inside week to play off of, then it becomes a very, very, very compelling trade to us, which is exactly what happened. Look at it. Day one, we had our up day. Day two, we had our follow through, and now we're just going to trail this thing. I took a bunch off above 39, but I mean, this thing looks like it can go to the moon right now. Look at it. Just open at lows, closed at highs, huge volume. Can't ask for anything more than that. I mean, that is a textbook breakout right there. All right, so we're going to trail this one, try to stay in as long as possible, see where it can go. Right now, it looks amazing. But right now, our stop is still here. This low 34.30. And we're going to trim and trail and try to stay in as long as possible. All right? All right, well, we'll keep coming with you guys with the trade reviews whenever they come out. All right, good luck. Happy trading.